Well, we saw before how to do the courtesy notice, and now we go to have a look on step number 8, how to create an invoice that it's issue due to a reply to the courtesy notice. So we wrote a courtesy notice. The message probably has not reached and has been ignored by the receiver, and the receiver itself or someone else decide to push back us again and send us a letter forcing to pay some taxes or to pay a fine or whatever. And here are again with our same cases to sort it out in full responsibility. So we have another instrument released by given by Heather is the invoice, and the courtesy notice was the contract. We say to them that if they going to reply, doesn't matter who initiate and start and agree to accept the contract, and so an invoice will be issued. For us, the meaning of sending an invoice, I want to be clear, is still an action to try to stop to cease and desist of the slavery system, okay, to make to awake the man and the woman that's writing again to us, to stop on this perseverance of this slavery system and action versus a man and living women, and stop the process versus us. So I don't need at the end to receive a paper that say to me, I confirm cancellation of everything. For me, it's already enough as success if they disappear, sincerely. So we wrote them to write us back that everything has been closed. But just the fact that they disappear, for me, it's my success, because I don't give value of their paper and sheet. And so if they're sent back to me a paper, fantastic, very good. We have closed the case. If they don't send it, but they disappear, I have the success of my invoice as well, okay? Because for me was that they have to stop to chase me for asking me money for something that I never sign off, for a contract that I never sign off with the foreclosed government. So here we go. We have a look on the invoice. The invoice look like a format of the courtesy notice, where we have to fill in the data as we already know. So in the header, there is the number of our IM here. Invoice protocol number. Here we go. We have to protocol another number in our internal protocol Excel spreadsheet. So, for example, if we wrote already 3 courtesy notice, we have a protocol 3, for example, and now I have to write another protocol, even if we are talking not about courtesy notice, but an invoice. For my protocol number sequence, this is number 4 and should be the number 4. So follow your protocol internal list and write where we are. We had which number of protocol is the next is protocol, and write here the protocol number where we are. So let's assume that now we are number 4 or number 2. You write here the name and surname code, the 010304, whatever you are, at which state you are, the date of the day, and the notification of courtesy, because we write an invoice reference to a notification of courtesy that was protocol number, and you write the protocol number of the courtesy notice that reflect this this invoice. You wrote again again to the respondent and the proponent. So here we go. Even if you see this one, you write the name and the surname, and you wrote the society board or council or offices where he live, where for which he work. But you do not have to write here the responsible function. I will going to update this. You will not have to write this one, but you will see the correct format soon in the drive. Okay, I will update it. Payment terms, we give them 40 days. So here, due date, you count the due date of from the day of today plus 14 is the due date of the invoice. So the invoice message, it's relatively short because you have to repeat the protocol number of the courtesy notice one more time here. You have to write here describe the action that causing the invoice. Okay, so you receive another letter, so you put here the subject of this letter, okay, that was received, and the day of received, for which we are replying. Is the reason why we are replying, because we received some other paper, a message or whatever. So you write here the message, the letter, subject that you received, okay, and the day when you receive. Now you have to take back the courtesy notice, and you have to read one by one the table of the contract. You have to take back the courtesy notice that you have sent to them. You have to read one by one the description of the voices of the table and define has been done by this action has been took place, yes or not. If took place, then you put this amount into the table of the invoice. So here you adjust the voice number, reflect the voice number of the courtesy notice. So it's not an order that you have to write 1, 2, 3, 4. No, the voice number, you take the voice number that you select from the courtesy notice and you put it here. You put the rate, the quantity, it's the quantity and the amount. Okay, so in such case the quantity is always 1 times. Okay, 1 times. But when there is written per calendar day, then you have to, if you select that cases, then you have to take from the day that they start to claim something to you. Okay, for example, from the first letter that you receive before you issue the courtesy notice till now, and you make calculation how many days they are, and then you multiply the value of the onch per the day, and then you make the total. So when you have defined the table, you make the total amount here, okay, and then you complete with the protocol number of the courtesy notice the point number 2. I notice an error, so I'm going to check and update immediately. Here is not the sleeper files, so the name of the respondent. Here it's your name and surname written in capital, as you did for the courtesy notice, and obviously this is your name and surname. Okay, so I'm going to check and update the file straight away immediately, so that you have this up to date. So what the invoice say, that the only action, so you have two in the waiver of grace action. Option 1, it's only to prove of a claim of a contract, providing the existing legally binding contract null, involuntary, and intentionally stipulate between the single parties mentioned above, as requiring the term and condition referent to the protocol of the courtesy notice. Option 1, they can really prove that you have a contract as I am with them, something impossible to prove. Or number 2, give the irrevocable written withdrawal of the above mentioned action which caused the invoice to be issued, rendering them null and void by means of an archiving and cancellation of all legal debts attributed to the legal fiction, natural person, legal fiction, and artificial person at your office, register, archive, et similia, to the legal fiction. This is you, your name and surname and name in capital. Okay, and I will adjust it immediately. And idem sonans, so to date null and voided by IM. Okay, so this is what you are. Or number 2, cancel everything. The invoice will be canceled. No payment is required if they proceed in this way. If they do not precede any invoice issued prior remain payable. So that means if they continue for the same case, if they continue to send you message, even if it's not the same person, but it's the same office that changed the name of the writer, but the office is still the same, this invoice sent to the other is still valid. And so the next action after the invoice, you can send another invoice to the one that claimed the same things to you again, because the contract has been activated also from the other one that continue to disturb you. And proponent are you, so here also it's not false sleeper, but it's your name and surname. Then without prejudice, you sign off, you put an autograph here, okay, with your fingerprint. And if you have the possibility to have a testimony with you that it's also an IM, or even if it's not an IM, you can ask if it's willing to has testimony to prove that you wrote and sign off this invoice, okay? So it's just a testimony of this, your signature, that you were there, living man, and wrote this invoice and you sign off. The proof of the sign off, you can use the testimony. If you don't have it, you can remove it totally, okay? And in the attachment that you going to, you can use some attachment to the invoice that can be, for example, if you can be a reference to a projection of an application of IM that you have done, or if not, that you can also prepare. The application and the projection are in the folder number 9. You can use the original forms where you can project and apply whatever you want to reflect your IM now. For example, I can do a projection of my apartment if I am the owner, okay? If the only owner, and the only owner is I can do the projection of my apartment. And if I was discussing something related to my mortgage, or to prove them that the house is or taxes for my apartment with my city hall, if I was discussing something, maybe I can put also the projection of IM on my house to prove them that my house now it's IM. So it's not of the government foreclosed at all. So you can use, if you have something to attach, you can use it. Otherwise, you remove all this attachment area. Another things that we have prepared and put at disposal for the invoice is like a text of the email that you're going to write, because you always have to reach the person that write to you. So you try to find the contact to send the message. And we have prepared 2 type of draft message that you can change with your word. You are under your responsibility. You can decide to change. We have a text message for the one, if you have to reply to the one, if the one that reply again to you is the proponent of the courtesy notice. So if it's the same name that continue to write to you, we have a type of text. If instead it's a third party, I call third party because if someone that we never saw before in the other message now come out asking you something, he will receive an invoice and he is not aware why he's receiving an invoice. So there is a text a little bit different. So because we want to explain why you are receiving this message. So you can have a look and read them, okay? This are the text that we propose and that you can change. And to also to try to awake the men and the women again, you have to you can to attach the we are legally free, the document that is available in the README folder, always to show them that we want to awake and that he study what's happened in 2012, 2013. So you can also attach this document, okay? I have, for the third party, you have to say, dear name and surname of the third party, the one that you are writing now, no? The name of the third party. As per courtesy notification sent to, and you write the name to of the person that received by you the courtesy notification, because you have to explain why he received the invoice on the date, on the day, and here. Okay, which I would like to specify, this is not an instance, because sometimes they say to us that that now our courtesy notice are instance that they cannot take in consideration. So you can remove, if it's not your case, you can remove this center. And we go ahead, say it was expressly reported that anyone who would have acted with name holder notification of courtesy. So anyone that act with the one that received the courtesy notification against IM in perpetrating and all requests and claim relate to the subject of such notification, you put the protocol of the notification, would also have activate the contract and its term condition. The receipt of the letter also signed by you. So I received the letter signed by you and now rejected by IM. So you reject again the letter as usual together. So you reject again the letter with the straight, with null, and the message you attach as well. Mean that is acceptance of the contract. So by writing me again, this means that you activate the contract. So we make an intro why this poor man or woman receiving the invoice. And you can read it, are interesting way how to try to awake the person. You can have a look, and if you want to say something else, to try to another word, you can adjust as you prefer. This is just a draft to propose how to approach, because we try always to awake some other souls. Okay. So we say, therefore, know that your superiors, by not informing you of the above, have put you in an anchor position, that is the municipal agency, common, etc. So this is the offices, for example, if the municipal or is the police department, by means of the name and surname of this poor, with your name, the company is acting in dishonor with extortion of money toward IM, living being in flesh, bone, blood, and spirit, who has never knowingly signed and accepted a contract with you. Okay, so this is also important to try to awake, and you attach we are legally free also to wake them. And also in the message is written, I also remember that all the police forces, the power of attorney, the region, the government are equally informed and aware of the global foreclosure that has taken place, and executive order received to chase and desist starting from December 25, 2012. For the 8 years now, you can change, they have been perpetrating a slavery system against the men and the women living on this planet, acting in dishonor against humanity, including you. So really, you have to send in peace, love, and harmony this letter, and with the intention that you write, that you put writing a courtesy notice or invoice with peace, love, and harmony. You really want to awake the other one that read to stop with this action, because it's in totally dishonor in respecting on what's happened in 2012. So the mission is to awake the soul next to me, and I can tell you that by experience, I have some cases where we have testimony where after the invoice, from time to time, they disappear. So this is a good sign that what you are taking and what the instrument that you are using are working. Okay, so everything is done under our responsibility. So every one of you that want to use the instrument need to be aware of that, and read careful what he's doing and how he want to express himself on the messages, etc., to be sure that you are totally transparent, that you have your knowledge, that you have your serenity and harmony when you doing this action towards someone else. I think that I've more or less tell you everything about the invoice. If you have any other question, just send in the international chat messages. Thank you again. Enjoy the evening. Bye bye.